Hi, and welcome back to Stop Being Sold. My name's Michelle, and I'm here with Brian. And in today's video, we're discussing whether or not right now is the time to upgrade your annuity.
Yeah, Michelle, this is huge right now. We're getting calls and emails from clients talking about checking in on the new interest rates, right? In the past, and if you've watched these videos for quite some time now, you'll know in our videos, especially the annuity videos, we've talked about the 10-year treasury note and watching the rapid rise in it recently. Rates move up with that. Your savings rates are going to go up with that. Your MYGAs, your annuity rates are going to increase with that. And now the time is there.
All right. Before we dive in a little further, make sure you hit that like button. It helps us grow the channel. And also don't forget to subscribe. We do quite a few videos on annuities. We will put those in the description link below, but we also cover everything from crypto to 401ks, IRAs, just really. And we cover financial products and we give you the information you need to make the best decision possible. So hit that subscribe button and the like. All right, Brian, you touched on a few points on why you would want to upgrade your annuity, talking about the 10-year treasury note and Federal Reserve interest rate hikes can help the rates go even higher on some of these annuities. Is there anything else you want to say about that? And then my second question is, how does one go about upgrading an annuity?
Okay, perfect. Let's start with the higher rates, Michelle.
Okay.
Having these higher rates allow you to upgrade your annuity into one with higher rates. Okay, so kind of like we had clients in the past that they roll CDs. Every time a CD matures, they roll into the next one, right? Well, this is the same thing with a lot of the MYGAs in the fixed annuities out there today. Rates are up over 50% in the last 12 months on most fixed annuities, including MYGAs. Right now, Michelle, we're seeing rates for 3-year MYGAs. It was 3.6, 3.7. I just seen one for 3.8. And 5-year rates are well over 4% right now. This is huge. We haven't seen this in a decade. So it's pretty exciting. Also, take the indexed annuities. The caps on them have risen to near record highs. In my 24 years as a financial advisor, I haven't seen caps like these ever. Okay. Wow. For those of you that don't want the risk of the stock market, caps on the S&P 500 are over 8%. Wow. Annually. This means you can earn up to 8% in your indexed annuity annually based on the returns of the S&P 500.
S&P 500.
So, yeah. So here's an example, and here's why it kind of makes sense, right? So if you got the S&P rising by 10% this year, right? You earn the cap of 8%. That's what your cap was. If the S&P rises by 5%, you earn 5%. But if the S&P 500 loses or stays flat this year, you earn 0%. But
you're not losing anything.
Any principal.
Right.
That's what people are interested in right now, especially with all the volatility of the market. We've seen people looking to do that. So.
Okay. So next question is, who is eligible to upgrade?
Okay.
I mean, let me just rephrase this. So annuities that come to maturity, but I get that one. But what about people who are willing to surrender their current contract?
Well, here's the scenario. First of all, you got to watch with the regulations out there and the disclosures on surrendering an annuity contract. You got to be very careful on that because of the best interest rule and what's out there today. You need to make sure that it makes sense, number one. And the insurance company has to be willing to accept that new contract because guess what? In a replacement concept, they're going to look at what you have today and make sure it's in your best interest, because if they accept that replacement from your old policy and it's not in your best interest, guess what? They're on the hook for that. So you got to be very careful on here. So I say the ones who are eligible are, like you said, policies that are already matured, that have lower renewal rates in them. But also, what about those that have surrender charge free withdrawals right now? You can so there's the key. So think of a client that has an annuity, might have been a 10-year annuity. They're in year 6 of it. Their renewals are 2.5%, 3%. And the MYGA rates are 5%. Well, guess what? What if you have a 10% free withdrawal? You're allowed to roll that into the new MYGA. you can roll these by either a direct rollover or a 1035 exchange to a new annuity with higher rates. All depends on what type of contract you have today.
Okay. And also anybody who apply, if you don't have an annuity right now, that's the time to get maybe look at
it's time to start looking at purchasing one. I mean, and here's the scenario. Going to cash doesn't work when inflation is over 8.5%.
No, it does not. You're losing so much.
You're losing so much. So why not go to safety even for a short time frame? If you think the average recession, which is what they're saying, that we're going to head to a recession, if you believe that scenario, an average recession lasts 2 to 3 years, what about 3-year MYGA that's paying you, 3%?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we talked about the positives. What about the negatives about upgrading an annuity right now?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that. Think about this. Every time you start a new annuity, Michelle, you have a new surrender charge period, whether it be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it may be. And rates could continue to move higher. And your upgrade now might be lower than what could be offered 6 months from now or even next year.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you never put all your eggs into one basket.
Got it.
So this is kind of like a good scenario for dollar cost averaging into a higher interest rate environment. I had a client years ago, Michelle, that did this. He layered CDs. And all of a sudden, he was every year, CD, one after another, one after another. That was when the times where interest rates were 12%, 13%, 14%. Right. All of a sudden, he calls me one day and says, hey, I got all these CDs that are coming due. What's your best rate that I can get on a MYGA right now? At that time, it was 2.5%.
Oh, yeah.
He was coming off of 12 and 14% returns. He's like, what are you talking about? But I mean, that's just the environment that he was in when he purchased them. But now we're heading into that type of environment. So he always layered them out every 6 months, every 12 months, every 18 months, every 24 months. Do the same thing with annuities. Layer them out. And that way you're not regretting waiting longer a year from now.
And I was going to mention that, I mean, timing, as they say, when you're trading, timing the market is just, I mean, you can get just wiped out, right? We don't know what the future is going to hold. And so waiting for something to potentially happen that may or may not happen and while you're losing money on cash right now or whatever is going on with your money, I like that idea of layering it. And also, it goes back to we talk about this all the time. Do your own research, compare those rates, and make sure I think should have started with this, make sure it makes sense for you before you do it, right?
Does it fit into your retirement planning?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. So is there anything else that viewers need to know about potentially upgrading annuity?
Just keep watching that 10-year treasury because that 10-year treasury is going to control all this for you. And we like where it's going. Yes, it's a negative for the refinance market, but savers are finally starting to get rewarded because that's the biggest complaint I've heard for the last 10 years is, oh my gosh, I got all this money sitting in the bank earning absolutely nothing.
Losing money at this point.
Yeah. So.
Okay. All right. Awesome. If you've watched to the end, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't already, help us grow this channel. Also subscribe so you never miss another video from us. And Brian and I have we put links in the bottom of this video description, some of our top annuity videos. Do check those out. Educate yourself, do your own research, compare those rates and make sure it makes sense for you. Thanks so much, Brian. And thanks everybody for watching.